Hello, my name is Eric Hutchinson and I'll be your Math 126 DE instructor for the summer session. The purpose of this video is to go through the syllabus, so you want to make sure you have a copy available as we go through. I sent you an email in Canvas that you should have received, and you click on the link to get a copy of the syllabus. So the very first thing we'll go over is the top information here. This is my contact information. Now my office is on the West Charleston campus, however I'm not going to be in my office that much throughout the summer. In fact, I don't have any regular scheduled office hours. However, I do have office hours by appointment, so if you need to see me for any reason, please go ahead and send me an email and I'll get back to you and we can set up a time and place to meet. Now the best way to contact me is using my email. I do have a phone number, but again, I'm not really going to be in my office that much. If you send me an email, I get back to you usually within 24 hours. And I'm going to send all the emails through Canvas. So any kind of course announcements or any kind of emails, I'm going to send them all through Canvas. Now Canvas, you are able to set up a personal email address that will forward emails to, so you can link those. And so if you already have an email address that's linked, make sure it's one that you regularly access, because you don't want to miss any information for this course, any kind of announcements, so make sure that's updated. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about is the website. I have a website that has a lot of really useful resources for you. This is where you can access all the notes and the videos for this course. And since this is not a face-to-face course, I have the lecture videos are all done online for you, so you can watch them all the way through. In fact, you should watch these videos before you attempt the homework, just like you would do in a regular class. All these videos can be found on my website. The exact link is here in the syllabus, but you can also access it by putting my name, Eric Hutchinson, and CSN into a search browser. And one of the first results that will come up should be my directory page through CSN, so you can click on that. And then on my directory page, you can click on Eric Hutchinson's homepage, and it'll take you to here, and then you can bookmark it once you get to it. Now on the left-hand panel on that website is going to be a bunch of buttons, and you'll want to click on the appropriate button for this class. And so when you click on the class, you'll see a drop-down menu appear, and you'll see a link for the syllabus, so you can get another copy of the syllabus if you need. You're also going to see a link for notes, and you're also going to see one for test review. So if you click on notes, it'll take you to a page that has all the electronic notes in PDF format, as well as lecture videos for every single problem I do in the notes. So these are the same type of lecturing I would do in a typical face-to-face class, so it's pretty much the same type of thing you get in a regular class. You can stop the video, rewind if you need, and you can find all those there. Under the test review link, I have sample exams for all 3 exams that we're going to take in this class. Along with the sample exams, I have answer keys, and I also have a YouTube playlist where I go through on the board like this every single problem that is on the sample test. So this way you'll get an idea of what the tests look like, because all the tests we take in this class will be paper and pencil, not done online. So you can have an idea of what they look like. So I'm going to skip the course description and the course objectives, and next I'm going to talk about what are the required materials that you need for this course. Now the first thing you're going to need for this course is going to be a scientific calculator. This calculator should have an exponent key on it and should also have sine, cosine, tangent buttons on there as well. This kind of calculator is one that you will be allowed to use when you take your exams in the testing center. And so you want to make sure you have that one, not one on your mobile device. You need to have a standalone calculator in order to be able to use that on the exams. If you don't already have one, then I did put a suggestion in the syllabus, a TI-30X Multiview. Now you don't need to purchase that one. If there's another one you prefer, that's fine. As long as it has sine, cosine, tangent, and exponent key on it, that's going to be fine, what you'll need for this course. That kind of calculator you also will be able to use, for those of you going on the Math 127, you can use the same calculator. Now if you already have a graphing calculator, you are allowed to use that on the exam. So the testing center allows either a scientific or a graphing calculator, either one. So if you already have one, you don't need to purchase one specific for this course, but if you have one, you can go ahead and use it. Now the next thing that's required for this course is going to be an ALEX 360 student access code, and it's going to accompany the textbook that we have here, which is the Pre-Calculus First Edition by Julie Miller down in Gherkin. Now you can purchase this code from the bookstore, but what's going to be better is if you actually purchase it online through McGraw-Hill. Now, as you go through these ALEKS registration instructions that are towards the end of the syllabus, there'll be an option for you to purchase a code. Now, there's 3 different codes that they're going to give you that you can purchase, either a 52-week, an 18-week, or 11-week access code. Now, if you're planning on taking Math 127 either within the next year, either fall or spring, you definitely want to purchase 52 weeks of access, because if you take 127 and you take it with an instructor who is also using ALEKS, that means you don't have to purchase the second code. So what you pay now will be good for 2 classes, 126 and 127. Now, if this is your last math class, then 11 weeks will be okay for you. However, 52 weeks isn't a bad option either, because just in case, an unlikely event that you have to retake the course, then at least you don't have to pay for a code again. So 52 weeks is good no matter what for this course. That's the right one that you want to purchase. Now, if you're waiting for financials to come through and you can't afford that code at the moment, I do have a financial access code that is here that you can use, and it's going to allow you to get 2 weeks or 14 days of free access to ALEKS, and that's going to allow you to start immediately working on the homework assignments. You don't want to miss any of those, miss the assignment, because there's no makeups or extensions on those. And if you look at the schedule that we have here, there's already going to be one due at the end of the first week. So you want to make sure you're able to get in there and start working immediately, so that way you don't miss anything. Now, in order to register for ALEKS, just follow these instructions that are in the syllabus. So they're towards the end of the syllabus, ALEKS student registration instructions. You're going to need to know the class code. It'll first ask you to set up a email address and password. If you've already used ALEKS in a previous course, then you can just go ahead and enter that information here. Otherwise, you'll create a new one. And then the next thing it'll ask you for is a class code. So again, the class code's here in the syllabus. That's where you can get that. Just type that in, and then just follow the other instructions for purchasing. When it gets to the part where it asks you to pay for a code, that's where you can put this financial access code in there. Again, if you don't have the funds to purchase one at the moment, you can just put that in, and that's going to allow you to continue with the course. Okay, next I'm going to go over ALEKS itself. Now, I mentioned that you're going to be doing your homeworks in ALEKS, and these homework assignments are called ALEKS objectives. Now, before you can get to the homework in ALEKS, once you register, there's a couple things that you have to do. So you want to make sure you start on this as soon as possible. You don't want to wait until the day that all the homework is due, because you're not going to be able to finish all of it. Because this is an 8-week class, you're doing double the amount of work that you would do during a regular week. So you want to make sure that you can put in the right amount of time for this course in order to be successful. It's actually better to work in ALEKS a couple days a week, or several days a week actually, instead of trying to do it all at once on the day that's due. Now, when you first log into ALEKS and register and everything, the first thing it'll ask you to do is to take a tools tutorial. This means that it'll tell you how you enter answers in ALEKS, how you use the fraction palette and different things like that, and graphing tools. Now, once you get done with that, you're going to get to the next thing, which will be an initial assessment it'll ask you to do. Now, because ALEKS is an adaptive homework system, it basically adapts the homework to your specific skills. In order to do that, it needs to know what kind of information you're coming in from. So some students in this course, you might have had this in high school and may remember some of the information. And so if you can demonstrate that you already know some of this information, then it's not going to give you homework on that material. For some others of you, this might be the first time you've ever taken this course, or maybe it's been years since you've had this in high school or before, and you don't remember a lot of information. Well, for you, you might be doing more problems, more prerequisite materials. So ALEKS is going to assess all that for you and give you the right amount of problems that you need in order to be successful in this course. So when you take the initial assessment, it's basically assessing what information you already know already. And so when you work through these problems, you want to try and do the best that you can on this. Now, if you don't know how to do a problem, it's okay to click the I don't know button. You shouldn't be getting help in the tutoring center for the initial assessment, because it's assessing the amount of information you already know. So if you don't know it, don't worry about it, because that's what you're going to be learning this summer in this course. So you just want to try and do the best that you can. If you do remember some of it, take a guess, that's fine. But if you don't know it, don't worry about it. Just click the I don't know button and move on. So you want to try and do the best that you can, because if it assesses that you know how to do a certain topic, you may not get any homework on that. So essentially it may actually save you some time on doing some homework throughout this course. So once you get done taking the initial assessments, again, you want to make sure you allow about an hour and a half time to do that initial assessment. Make sure you have scratch paper and everything, and you want to do it all in one sitting. Once you're done with that, it's going to give you a pie chart that's going to show you what information that you already know, how many topics that you know coming into this course. If the number of topics that you're coming into the course with is really low, don't worry about it. Again, most people, you're going to have a low number of topics because this is new material. You haven't had this course before, so that's normal to get a low number like that. Now, after you go through all that, it's going to give you a button that'll say Continue My Path. And every time that you log into the course from then on, you're going to be at that splash page that has the blue ribbon on the left-hand side, and it'll have that Continue My Path button. As long as you hit the Continue My Path button, that ensures that you're doing the correct problems for this course. And so as you work through, it's going to tell you you've completed a certain number of topics. Now, every time you log in, underneath that Continue My Path button, it'll tell you which objective that you're in, and it's also going to tell you how many topics you have complete. So there's these gold topics that are in there, and those all combine together and make up the total objective. The homework score that you're going to get is the percentage of these topics you have complete by the due date. For instance, let's say there's 10 topics in 1 week that you have to learn, and you finish 5 of them by the due date. That means you would get 50% as your score. That's what would be put into the grade book. So as long as you actually finish all the problems at 100%, that's going to be your score. You'll get 100% on the ALICE objectives. So you just want to keep walking through that one and to keep going until it tells you that you've completed the objective. Now once the objective is complete, it will automatically move you to the next week's objective, and you can work ahead if you want to, but it's not necessary. You just want to make sure you finish whatever objective is available for that week. There's 7 objectives in this course, so just make sure you take time to go through every week. Now that's going to be 25% of your grade in this class with the ALICE objectives. The other 75% is going to be coming from the paper and pencil test, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about. Now the paper and pencil exams are going to be done at a CSN testing center. You're not going to be doing these in ALICE. They're paper and pencil, and so you'll do those in person at the testing center. Now in order to take those, you have to make an appointment using a system that's called Register Blast. So 2 weeks before each exam, I'm going to send you those instructions, tell you how you register for the exam. I'm also going to send you some information about review materials. Each of my exams, there are sample exams that are created for each one. There's also a sample exam key, and there's also a video playlist of me going through the problems as a video playlist on YouTube. So these will help let you know what type of work is to be expected on these kind of problems as you're working through, and what kind of problems to expect on the exams. So there's 3 times you have to come into the testing center this summer session. The dates are going to be in here. This page right here has the objective due dates on it. It also got the test dates on there, so you know when all of them are going to be. Now each test is going to be open for either 3 or 4 days. And so you can take the test at any of the 3 CSN testing centers. You can make an appointment online again using the Register Blast, and you'll have 3 or 4 days. You can take it on any of those days that you want. So it's going to be it's usually Monday through Thursday. The only time we don't have a test is the week of 4th of July. 4th of July week, that means you only get 3 days total to take the test instead of the usual 4. But otherwise, usually you have 3 or 4 days again for each exam. Now, if you're not going to be in Las Vegas for the exam, then you're going to need to take the test in a testing center out of state. So you'll have to find a college or university or somebody who's willing to proctor the exam. If you're in that situation where you're not going to be in Las Vegas for an exam, you have to email me and let me know. And what you want to do is you want to find a proctor. Now the very last page of the syllabus has test proctoring rules that are on here. This tells you who you can use for a proctor, how you find a proctor, and it has some different rules on it. Usually I do not allow out-of-state proctoring unless you're in the military and you're deployed overseas. Then I allow you to take the test out of the country. But in the past I've had a lot of problems with logistics, with language barriers and logistics, to where it's been hard to get the test done in time if it's in a different country. that doesn't speak English. And so because of that, I usually only allow testing in the United States only. So for that, you can use a college or university testing center, librarian. There's a whole bunch of different cases where you can use a proctor. Now, if you are in Las Vegas, then you're required to go to one of the 3 CSN testing centers, and that's the only one I'll allow in town. Make sure you get off of work early, because if you can't get off of work and you let me know an email the very last day of the testing week that you couldn't get in because of work, I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you a makeup or extension for that. You already know ahead of time now what the test dates are, so it's your responsibility to take these days off of work so you can go in there and you can get these done. Now, the testing centers are open until 7:30 p.m., which means that if you work till 5, you can be able to get to a testing center by 5:30, and you can take the exam there after work if you want to. And so if you work different hours than that and none of them work with the testing hours that are in the testing center, send me an email message, let me know, and we can make some different arrangements with that. And so that's the exams for this class. So there is no final exam for this class. There's only 3 exams, tests 1, 2, and 3. The last test you will be taking during finals week, but it will not be cumulative. Each test 1, 2, and 3 has its own material in the syllabus that tells you what sections are going to be covered on each exam that's in there. The extra credit that's in this class, I do offer an extra credit assignment at the week before the last week of this session. So during the 7th week of this session, I'm going to give you an assignment that's going to be in ALEX. And so I'll give you instructions on how you'll access that assignment, and that will be cumulative. Since we don't have a cumulative final in here, at least I'll have the last assignment kind of be cumulative, so I'll kind of go over some of the things that we had from before. This is going to give you, if you get it all correct, then you can get a maximum of 5 percentage points added to the last test for test 3. And so that'll help your overall test average. That's the only extra credit assignment I do offer in this course. Again, it's that extra credit review assignment. There are no makeups, again, as I mentioned, no makeups for tests or homework. The standard of work in this class, again, as I mentioned before, when you watch the videos or watch the answer keys, it'll tell you what steps is to be expected on these problems. And so if you just give me the answer and no work is shown, then I'm going to take points off for that, because in order to get the full credit, I have to see not only the correct answer, but the correct work that goes with it. So if you have the correct answer somehow, but the work is nothing what you should be having, it doesn't make any sense, then you might get points taken off of there as well. So again, in order to get credit on these, you have to have the correct work and the correct answer for both that you get. I do grade on partial credit, so I do give partial credit for what you have complete. The grading scale is here, 25% for objectives and 75% for the test average. This is automatically in ALEX, and so it's programmed in there, so you can always see your score throughout the entire course. I do grade in a plus-minus system, so the grading scale is included in the syllabus. The rest of the information you can read on your own about withdrawals and all the different student policies and rules and things like that. There is an ALEX technical support number that's included in the syllabus, so you want to take note about that and the times that they're available. If you have any specific issues on your PC, or if you have any registration issues as far as payment not going through or code is not working, something like that, then you want to go ahead and call up ALEX technical support. I'm kind of limited as far as what I can be able to help you with that. You can first send me an email and I'll let you know if that's something that you need to send an email to the technical support or call technical support about. The last thing is that the tutoring centers. We do have a free walk-in tutoring lab on all 3 campuses, and so you can just show up and you can work with a tutor. They usually work with you for 30-40 minutes at a time, then they'll ask you to do some other work for 20 minutes, 20-30 minutes, then you can get another appointment again. It's unlimited, so you can stay there all day long. They do have computers nearby, so you can get some help as you're working through your problems in ALEX. So please take advantage of them. And of course, if you still have some questions, you need to meet with me to go over certain content. I'd be happy to go over some of the ALEX problems and help you with some of those if you need. So please feel free to email me if you have a question on that. There is also, as you're working through problems in Alex, on the right hand side next to the problem there is a button that'll say email the instructor, and that'll send me the exact problem that you're working on, so I'll be able to actually give you an exact answer over that particular one, so you can take advantage of that as well. I will be available all the time through email. I check my email multiple times throughout the day, so I try and get back to you within 24 hours. So if you have any questions about the course at all, please feel free to send me an email, let me know. It's best to actually send me an email instead of calling me, because I'm usually not in my office through the summer. If you have any, so again, best of luck to you this semester, and send me an email if you have any questions.